Hey everyone, it's Jacqueline from Pixie Dust PhD. Happy New Year! I hope the start of 2023 has been kind to you. In this video though, we're going to turn the page a whole year and talk about 2024 a little bit. That's right, it's time to go over the Disney Vacation Club 2024 points charts. Leading into that, we'll also discuss some general information about points charts as well as highlight a few key moments in points charts history. Stay tuned. Thanks for supporting my YouTube journey, I really appreciate it. This will be my first full calendar year with over 1,000 subscribers on the channel, and I can't wait to see where we go together. If you aren't already, please be sure to subscribe to the channel. You can then ring that bell icon to turn on notifications to receive an alert whenever I post new videos. And don't forget to like the video, comment down below, and share with your friends. All the engagement helps me out so much. To today's main topic, points charts. Let's start with a little bit of background information because I think there's some myth busting we need to do. Disney absolutely does reserve the right to modify the points charts to better reflect reservation patterns year to year. Generally speaking, if a time period has more demand, it's going to cost more points, and if there's lower demand for a time period, that's going to cost less points. You can see this very clearly with the week of Christmas and New Year's and spring break time costing quite a lot of points. In contrast to that, September costs the least amount of points. This is likely because a lot of folks simply aren't traveling because school has just started back up in session. As I just stated, Disney can make changes. However, they are somewhat slowly implemented. Year to year, the points cost for a single room can't increase more than 20%. This means for larger changes to the points charts, those have to be spread out over a few years. And Disney can't just increase the points cost in perpetuity. The annual points total for a single resort unit can't change unless new units are added. Generally speaking, for any given resort, if the point charts are changing such that some units are increasing in cost, then other units need to be decreasing in cost. Disney can't just make up points out of nowhere. The exception to this is if they are adding new units, new points into the system. Overall, yes, Disney can change the points charts. That's totally well within their rights. They do have to do it somewhat slowly though, and prices cannot just infinitely increase. The overall number of points is stagnant unless they are adding new units. Next, let's do a very brief history of some of the bigger changes we've seen to point charts. This will not be exhaustive, I just wanted to do a few highlights. 2010 was a really big shakeup to the points charts. In 2010, adjustments were made to make weekend nights cost less and weeknights cost more. Presumably before this, they were seeing a pattern of booking where DVC members were staying Sunday night through Thursday night because it was much more economical than Friday and Saturday night. Once you've got that clear pattern of booking, then point charts adjustments can be made to try to even that out. So even though currently weekend nights still are more expensive than weekday nights, it's definitely not as dramatic as it once used to be. The flip side of that same coin means that weeknights, Sunday night through Thursday night, aren't as much of a deal as they used to be. But hey, at least on average, it's a little bit cheaper to stay on the weekends now. 2019 had a notable change specifically at Animal Kingdom villas. Here, the club level room price increased, and to compensate for that, they decreased those volume room prices. Now staying club level is pretty expensive, not gonna lie, but it's still a really good deal when you're considering your point to money value compared to the cash price of a club level room. And those value rooms truly are a steal, and this change partly is what made that happen. Nothing big in 2020, but 2021 had a big restructuring. Prior to the 2021 point charts, things were divvied up into 5 different seasons, and these had cute names like the Dream Season and similar. 2021 onward, what you are used to now, it's just 7 travel periods. There's no names, there's not even really numbers, but travel period 1 is generally thought of to be September, the cheapest, travel period 7, the most expensive. Going from 5 seasons to 7 travel periods essentially gave Disney a little bit more room to play with the points. And you saw some point adjustments here, including decreased costs in September and increased costs around peak holidays like we talked about before. 2022 had another change, nothing super dramatic, but you started to see this trend of the summer and fall month cost equaling out. Summer months used to be very expensive, and I think canonically looking back at some recent history of Walt Disney World, but pre-pandemic, summer was super popular. People traveled to Disney World during that time, presumably because kids were out of school. But for whatever reason, with time that has shifted, and so the points charts were shifting too. More and more people were traveling during the fall, so Disney Vacation Club started adjusting their points charts to reflect that pattern of reservations. In 2023, we saw essentially the same thing. October and November prices increased. To compensate for that though, May became more economical. Excluding holidays, now summer is definitely not the most expensive, and fall is getting up there. Now that we're caught up to the present, let's talk about 2024. For the first time in a few years, there's actually really no meaningful changes in the 2024 point charts compared to the 2023 point charts. So it seems like we've reached sort of a steady state or homeostasis for a while now of those fall month prices increasing, summer and other months decreasing. Hooray! Makes it easier to plan. Definitely check out the official points charts for yourself, but generally speaking, if you're used to looking at the 2023 points charts, but you're thinking about a 2024 trip, you don't need to make any big mental adjustments. As always, some dates in the travel periods did move to accommodate moving American holidays. Here are travel periods 5, 6, and 7, and we can see some differences between 2023 and 2024. Starting with travel period 5, this is explained essentially by American Thanksgiving moving. American Thanksgiving is not a set date. I believe it's always the 4th Thursday of November, which moves. In 2023, it's going to be on November 23rd, versus in 2024, it won't be until November 28th. You can see this first chunk of travel period 5 stops just before peak Thanksgiving crowds start coming in. Skipping travel period 6 for now, let's look at travel period 7. 2023 includes a week in April 2nd through 9th, whereas 2024, it's now a week in March. This is explained by American Easter, which again moves. The anchor dates for both of those travel periods literally is American Easter, so these are basically peak spring break crowds. A lot of schools take off around Easter for spring break. And now if you combine your knowledge of American Thanksgiving and American Easter moving around, that explains what's happening in travel period 6. The first change, extending the back half of February through February 29th, is simply because it's a leap year. But the other shifts you're seeing around March or April or that late November timeframe are accommodated by American Easter / spring break crowds and Thanksgiving crowds. But overall, your takeaway message is that Disney can change the points charts, and they have. And they probably will continue to in the future. But prior to that 2024 release, we had seen a few years in a row, really, of changes to the points charts to reflect their reservation patterns. Personally, I'm really happy to see that there's no real meaningful changes in the 2024 points charts, and we might be in a good place for a while. If you have any questions, leave those in the comments down below, and I'll do my best to get back to you with a helpful answer. I hope this makes your 2024 trip planning easier, and thanks for watching. May the rest of your day be magical, and we'll see you real soon at Pixie Dust PhD.